Hey everybody, welcome to my channel where we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. We're going to look at creepy and strange and abnormal TikToks. We're going to talk about the stuff that's going on in the industry. We're going to talk about the stuff that's going on in the world, stuff that's going on in the United States. Whether crazy, I don't like to say conspiracy theories because if we haven't seen yet that they're not just conspiracy theories, that they're actually fact, then you've been living under a rock. So, grab your popcorn, grab some water, grab some whatever you want to drink on or smoke on, you want to weed, whatever you want to do, grab it and come on, chill with your girl. Let's get to it.
Stickers.
This is 4-year-old Lane Luviano. She's the one that broke this case open in September when she snuck one of her sleepy stickers out of the classroom.
She kind of pulled up her little shorts and said, "Mom, look, this is my sleeping sticker." And I was like, "The what?"
When Lane's mom, Lisa, saw the sticker, she thought it was strange and asked her daughter about it.
And the teacher gives it to you, where she put it?
On my arm.
On your arm? Which part? Point to it. Right up there?
Yeah.
And what's it look like?
Sleeping with a moon on it.
Lane's dad says he's known something was wrong since school first started.
2 o'clock in the morning, I'm hearing some noise in the room, and I'm going over there. She's still up.
And so she gives you the sticker, you put the sticker on, and it makes you tired?
Yeah.
Wow. And all the kids get them?
Yeah.
They never notified the parents.
So Lisa took matters into her own hands. She reached out to the other parents in Lane's class, sent them pictures of the patch.
Now, the parents say that 2 teachers and 2 aides have been suspended so far. Still, they don't feel comfortable sending their kids back to school.
What happened with the sticker?
This is 4-year-old Lane Luviano.
Press pause. Time out. Time out. Flag on the play. Number one, I actually lived in Houston, so this is kind of like hitting home. Number one. Number two, I have little kids. First of all, shame on you, teachers who just wanted a break, because that's what that is about. Number two, I think I'm more speechless. And I'm surprised that it went as smooth as it did, because honestly, and my hair is really getting on my nerves, y'all. In all honesty, sorry, I gotta fix my hair. I don't know what I would have done. Especially with me having a special needs child. Like, no, we don't do that. No. Let's keep going.
So something major must have went down in Washington, D.C. last night, because look at this, y'all.
Okay, I do not know what's going on right now. I heard a noise. I come outside. There's sirens blaring, and I see this huge trail in the sky.
So it seems like something crashed and landed near Washington, D.C. because people are seeing a huge trail in the sky, and after the huge trail, they heard a huge boom. Look at the moon, y'all. Y'all see that? That shit looking like a sun still. Now, here's the thing. This is being reported and seen across a lot of states, not just Washington, but you have Philadelphia, Vermont, people in New York, Virginia was seeing all this as well. So this is something big. If everybody across those states are saying this, I looked at the comments and people were saying this, y'all. So if anybody has seen anything or any aliens, extraterrestrials, please let us know down below, because people have been seeing a lot of strange anomalies in the sky lately. And this all took place at midnight, and all you hear is sirens in the background, y'all.
And probably didn't even
What the
let
heck
the
is
people
that?
know what was going on, and probably still ain't.
But yes, y'all, let me know down in the comments below. This is strictly for entertainment purposes only, y'all. Let's continue to get this shift. Peace and part 2 of something landing in Washington, D.C., y'all. This guy was there and he saw everything. Check this out.
It's early in the morning on the U.S. Capitol grounds. And man, security and law enforcement is everywhere. Walk with me. Look at this. What is going on?
So he notices that there's a lot of cop car, but yet it's quiet, like they're anticipating something. Like something must have happened in order for them to be this quiet.
And it's quiet, as if they're waiting for something, expecting something, preparing for something. Look over here. Let's walk over here. Come on.
And that's what everybody was saying. Once that loud boom went off, people heard sirens and then people heard helicopters. Let me show y'all what the helicopter was doing, y'all. So this is flight tracker. Here's the helicopter over here. Now notice that the planes are grounded, like the planes aren't moving. Granted, you know what I'm saying? But still, look at this helicopter flying around. And then it was circling the crash landing spot. It left the area over there and then went over here. As you can see, it's just circling it, y'all. I just thought it was weird that the helicopter was flying around in circles like that. But yeah, look at all these cops, y'all. They're just standing around, just waiting for something.
Let's go. Let's turn around. Look at that again, man. Turn around. Look at that. Let them see it. What's going on here? Oh.
Wow, see, look at all that. So anybody knowing what's going on, please let us know. We're trying to figure out. I'm waiting for an update. He's waiting for an update. So please let us know.
Something's going on. You got to do some research. I got to see if there's some threats. If there's something big going on.
Do y'all remember the audio of the government whistleblower talking about the Sumerian gods returning? Check this out.
I've heard from people in the Pentagon that the buzzword in the secret of secrets in the Pentagon is the Sumerian gods are returning. And that's what they're referring to as that whole area that Peter's.
Wow. Can you repeat that again, just in case anybody missed it? The buzzword
in the Pentagon, in the the military circles that are in the know about the cover up here, they kind of in whisper tones talk about the return of the Sumerian gods.
So yes, y'all, if anybody knows what's going on in DC, please let us know. And if I get an update, I'll let y'all know what's going on too. But this is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times. Let's continue to get this shit going.
Over the city, looking down on Washington, D.C., you'll see there are two main boulevards culminating in a pyramid. And just at the very top of the pyramid is a street cutting it off. And then within the triangle at the top, where the eye on the dollar bill is the Capitol. And the Capitol building sits there. It's a pyramid. Then it has the Cleopatra's Needle, which is a Washington monument. And the river, the long riverway, the long waterway is called the River Styx, which is where Pharaoh went into heaven on the River Styx. It is all laid out in Masonic symbolism, and the five-pointed star, which is a pentagram, has always been used. Satan worship.
I was planning on letting a couple, maybe 3 to 4 videos play before I say something, but I do want to mention that. Trying to figure out the best way to say it. We need to all be aware of Project Bluebeam. I'm not saying that this is not legit by all means, but we also have to keep that in mind, that they also have those tactics of Project Bluebeam. So you really don't know what is real and what is fake. I guess that's why, the word says to pray for discernment and wisdom, because honestly, it's going to get even more deceptive as time goes. And it's crazy because it's like, how much more deceptive can it get? Please. It is probably, if it's something that you imagine what the world is like, it's probably 10 times worse than that. And that is my goal on this channel, which is to bring you guys information that I found out. And I was going to leave this for my intro, so I'm going to leave it for my intro. So I won't, digress no more. Let's get back to the video.
Satanic worship, the five-pointed pentagram, and if you take the arms off of a pentagram, you have a pentagon. And the United States Pentagon is sitting exactly due north, aiming due north at the North Star Thuban, which is drawing power, according to the ancient Egyptians, for the god of war.
Just take a road map of Washington, D.C. Just take a look at it from the air, and you'll see what appears to be the goat of Mendez. And the goat of Mendez,
which is a symbol in Freemasonry. Right. It's a symbol. It's a demonic symbol within the Freemasonic.
You see the goat and the horns and the whole thing. The whole city is laid out like
in the archives at the Vatican. First of all, it's about 5 miles of archives underground and very, very secure access. You can't just go check out the archives underground. No, you have to be security cleared based on their standards to get down there. They have so many incredible discoveries, knowledge, and wisdom that have been stolen from all around the world. Also, according to even some Jesuits, are bones of actual alien beings, information about advanced beings that visited this planet. They have all this down there. They have of information, even out of Iraq, that shows and proves that advanced races had lived on this planet long before this current civilization here exists. All that information is stored underneath the Vatican archives, along with some of the most incredible texts and books and inventions that ever existed on this planet. And they're hoarding all of that wisdom and knowledge so that they can keep control and power and domination over the world. And guess what? It's working.
Have you heard of the Pope's audience hall? It lies partially in Vatican City and partially in Rome. Have a look at the image below and compare its shape to the image of a snake beside it. Note the overall shape. Wide back, narrow, rounded front, eyes in the middle, nostril at the front, and curved top. In the image above, there are 2 windows on either side of the building that resemble eyes. So let's have a look at both of them together now. All of a sudden, we begin to see things taking shape here. 2 reptilian eyes staring at you as you observe the stage. What do you notice down the center? Either side, 2 sharp, pointed fangs. The building's roof and sides also resemble scales. Really pay attention to the whole building and stage layout next to the image of a snake. The eyes, the shape, the scales, the fangs. In the middle of the stage sits a statue of Christ rising from an atomic apocalypse. Do you notice anything about Jesus' head? It's difficult to see from the front, but when you view the statue from the sides, it becomes strikingly clear from both sides that the head of Jesus is meant to look like that of a snake. There's an obvious reason for this imagery. Why was this building built in such a way that the Pope appears to be speaking from the mouth of a reptile?
If you'll remember that for at least 2,300 years, Rome, starting with the Caesars of Rome, the Augustus Caesar, the first emperor, but for 2,300 years, Europe has been dominated by Rome. And then for in the last 1,600 years, has been under the Catholic Church. The Holy Father is the Pontifex Maximus, which was a term given to the Caesars. Pontifex Maximus means the greatest bridge builder. And so, again, Rome has dominated Europe for 2,300 years, first under the Roman Empire and then under the Vatican. And for 2,300 years, Europe has dominated the planet. So therefore, all roads lead to Rome. And so that's why, again, when we were talking about the Jewish thing, the Jews are not doing anything near whatever is going on out there. Don't worry about the Jews. You better look at the Vatican. For 2,300 years, Rome has ruled Europe, and Europe has dominated the world. There's where the power is. The Holy Father, nothing holy in Rome. He represents God. That's why all of the royalty will tell you that they have a divine right. We mean divine right. That implies God put you there. No, divine right comes from the idea that the Pope anointed you. The Pope said you could be prince, so now you have a divine right. Why? Because he represents God. You say, what God? Because that Pope's tiara he wears is a fish head. The Roman Catholic Church is worshiping an old god named Dagon, D-A-G-O-N, Dagon. Dagon is the god of the Roman Catholic Church. But happily, most people have no idea who Dagon was. I have no idea what I'm talking about. So everything is fine until you wake up one day and start doing your homework and find out that the Roman god Dagon is the god of the Roman Catholic Church today.
Want to know who really runs the world? Look up Pepe Orsini, also known as the Grey Pope. The Orsini are one of most important families in Italian history. At the height of their influence in the late Middle Ages and into the Renaissance, the Orsini were crucial players in Italian politics. They were closely allied to the Medici, with whom they were tied by several high-level marriages. The family produced 3 popes, about 30 cardinals, and 60 senators of Rome, as well as several electors of Saxony and Brandenburg, and Grand Masters of the Knights of Malta. They were related to a number of royal houses of Europe. The Orsini rose to power in Rome in the late 12th and 13th centuries, as a few families filled the gap created by the struggle between a weakened papacy and a fledgling communal government. During that time, the family acquired scores of feudal lands in the Papal States and the Kingdom of Naples. In Rome, their urban fortresses at Monte Giordano and Campo de' Fiori dominated the surrounding area, acting as strongholds in the battles which periodically...
It's obvious I couldn't press pause just now. So I wanted to stop and talk about the little introduction, I guess you could say, a snippet of information about the Vatican and information about DC. And I chose to like put these in here as my first video because it's very important to me for us to be able to understand what was really going on in the world. And by us, I mean the people. You know what I mean? The people that are citizens, I guess you want to call, of here. And just in the world, period. Because, honestly, this affects everybody. So if we've all been lied to, then that's a problem. You know what I mean? DC is definitely very much a tribute to the Masonic order in every form and fashion. You know what I mean? And that's something I want to get into on this channel as well. And then also with the Vatican, I was brought up Catholic, and I was even an altar server and all of that. And so when I started learning about everything, about everything that has been going on in the world, because I think I've been on this journey since 2021. And I never thought for one second that we will be here by all means. I not once thought that I would find out the things that I've been finding out, and yes, it's a bit much. However, of course we got to keep things a little bit censored because this is YouTube, and eventually I will go ahead and start my own Patreon, and I do have a Discord. So if you guys have any videos you want to send me, I'll throw that in there. But we're gonna get into some real stuff on this channel. So if you like to get into some real stuff, I like mature debates. If you have something that you want to go back or you want me to look into, I'm more than happy to look into it. But this channel is going to be touching on things that maybe you either didn't believe or still living in the Matrix. And my goal and my plan for my channel is to expose it to the best of my abilities. And if I can help one person, that's awesome. If I can help another, that's even better. But I feel like iron sharpens iron. And if I'm giving wisdom and I'm giving knowledge, why would I gatekeep? Well, I don't know. Maybe we should ask the Masons because that's what they do. Allegedly. I wouldn't gatekeep information that could put you into a better place. But that's on that topic. I digress again. Oh, and if y'all see me with my pen, I take notes. So to help me remember when I got to come back and talk to you guys about stuff, like with for instance, my notes right here with the audience hall. Being a person that's raised Catholic, I still have family members that's Catholic. It really does make me feel some kind of way. It's like my family is practicing this religion, and in secrecy y'all worshiping Satan, and they don't even know. And that's always been like the cowardly thing I felt like with this whole entire secret society thing. Oops, my neck thing is messing up. With secret societies, it's like, how can you do things to people or implement stuff or moving in the direction of the one world government and new world order and all that other jazz and all that fluff? However, I lost my train of thought. That happens a lot. So what the heck was I saying? Oh, and because they lied to you. You know what I mean? And so basically you up here going to church, and the higher ups of the church is worshiping Satan. You know what I mean? And that's not just with the Catholic religion. That's with all religion. It's all of them. It's not just one, it's all. However, there is truth out here. And I don't know everything in life. I don't profess to know. I'm still learning. I love the learning process. I wish I could never stop learning, because if I stop learning, I feel like I'm not moving. I'm not making any progress. However, I lost my train of thought again. Dang it, y'all. I did. So it must be now meant to talk about it. If I remember, I'll double back and loop it in. Let's get back to the video. And I'm gonna let a couple roll before I talk.
Radically broke out between Orsini supporters and the supporters of their enemies and rivals for supremacy in Rome, the Colonna. Over the following centuries, the Orsini's private armies and enormous wealth made them crucial players in the complicated power game of Italian politics. The family remained preeminent in Italian political and religious life into the 19th century, eventually producing 3 popes, about 30 cardinals, and 60 senators of Rome, as well as several electors of Saxony and Brandenburg and Grand Masters of the Knights of Malta. They were related to the royal houses of France, Spain, England, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, and Poland. Want to know?
I just got done having my mind blown, so if my mind is blown with what I just experienced, you better hang on to your seats. Let's start with this 34-mile line of sight I had from north to south, and check out how it looks. Let me first show you that over the course of 34 miles, there should be approximately 770 feet of curvature. And from one end of the 34 miles, here, straight, straight, flat, flat, straight, straight, flat, 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 straight, flat, to the other end of the 34 miles. Where's that 700 feet of curvature? But I haven't even begun. Because this morning I was walking that same beach with a sunrise backlighting what appeared to be buildings in the very distant background, and I thought to myself, no way, because the angle of those buildings was pointing right to Charleston, South Carolina, and even I, as the person I am, thought, no, couldn't be. Could it? I couldn't possibly be seeing Charleston, South Carolina from 193 miles away, right? I mean, 193 miles away at an observer height of 6 feet would give you 24,000 feet of curvature. That would have to be some pretty nifty refraction. That would have to be refraction showing me a mirage over 4.5 miles tall. I mean, that's some pretty impressive light refraction. Because although blurry, because I didn't have my trusty Nikon camera, when I compared what I was seeing to Charleston and their skyline, and when I literally asked the locals there what that was, they said they didn't know. But it seemed to be there only in the mornings, when the sun is backlighting the buildings so you can see. And when you do an overlay, especially with this building and this building, they seem to match pretty well. And when you add up all the pieces of the puzzle, like literally facing directly at those buildings, and the fact that I was there early in the morning to catch the sunrise backlighting those buildings, and when it matches here, even down to that little tiny hump and that little tiny hump, and the overlay seems to match pretty darn well as well, well then at a certain point you really need to ask yourself if you really live on one of those. But of course, this is all for entertainment purposes. I know I live on one of these, and although it looks different from picture to picture, you know how big the lie would have to be for them to pull off something like this? And I mean, what would be the purpose of it? It's not like this would make you think that God didn't exist and we just evolved from monkeys from a big bang accident and we're spinning endlessly in an infinite universe and very unimportant. I mean, no, this would never do that. This is all for entertainment purposes, of course. I just got done having my...
I had to jump back on because I needed to tell you guys that... Ooh, I keep hitting this mic. One day I'm not going to do this. It's going to work out. NASA actually means in Hebrew deception, and I'm gonna just leave it at that because that's another topic that we're gonna delve down in this on this channel. But yeah, deception. Last thing about this Earth shape. I've traveled a lot, and plane never kind of did this. Never had any curvature at all. Also in the Bible, it does say about where under the firmament. And if you don't know what a firmament is, I like to use a lot of analogies. So the analogy I can use is it being like a cake pan, and like a cake, you know, the top goes on top of the cake pan. And so if the firmament's on top of us, and this is the cake pan, can a ball necessarily fit? Or what does it have to be a flat surface? It can have something underneath it, but it doesn't have to be a flat surface to hold the top. So if we're in the firmament, and God put the firmament there to divide the waters from above from the waters below, I just feel like we were deceived for very nefarious reasons. I mean, of course, deceiving somebody is nefarious, but even more nefarious than you would think. But I digress again. Y'all gonna see that a lot. You're used to it. That's me. Let's get it.
I got a who else was today's years old when they found out that Black Friday is actually a ritual that they use to celebrate the day that they would sell African American people for half price the day after Thanksgiving. How inhumane can this holiday, this tradition, this country that still uphold this shit be?
Back in the days of slavery, the African American slaves would cook up a nice Thanksgiving turkey meal for their masters and entertain them throughout the night. They would force the slaves to entertain their friends and family, who would then vote on which slave was the best entertainer and which was worst. The loser were then sold at auction the next day, which they called Black Friday. The slave purchasers knew the day following Thanksgiving there would be an auction, so that go prepared for the sale. They would get up early every morning, hoping they would be the first one in line, similar to today's Black Friday. Hundreds would show up hoping they could be the first to purchase the slaves that were on sale. This was the one day out of the year that the slaves were reduced in price.
I'm not gonna lie, this one might break the internet. Have you ever seen the United Nations building in Senegal, West Africa? The one that kind of looks like a hurricane? Not only a hurricane, but a bunch of sixes, because we know how they like that number. Well, let's take a closer look at some things. Let's first look at this beautiful looking United Nations symbol that looks an awful lot like a flat earth map. But then let's zoom out and let's see where that building has a direct path to. Oh, would you look at that? Florida, the east coast of Florida, where a lot of hurricanes just happen to hit. But Hurricane Milton is coming from the west, so what's to the west? Oh, Australia? I wonder if they have any United Nations buildings in Australia. Oh, would you imagine that? Let's take a closer look at this United Nations building and complex and see what we find. Zooming in, and that's a funny looking symbol. It looked familiar to me, but I couldn't quite place where I saw that symbol. Maybe one day I'll remember though, hopefully. But I mean, so what? They have a symbol that kind of looks like something else. It's not like this UN building has some sort of crazy technology or spires or giant space needle looking things. What in the world is that? Let's put a pyramid under a giant needle that, I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I'm just simply showing you that look at that angle. Just happens to have on something that Florida is about to experience. I'm not saying, I'm just showing. But of course, as usual, this is all for entertainment purposes. I'm sure that they just like the design of this building, and it isn't really sixes or even supposed to look like a hurricane. And that these anomalies that have been spotted by Cancun, which would be on the way from Australia, just happen to be coincidental as well. also a coincidence. Duh. Entertainment only, people.
And the fall of Jay-Z and Beyonce, April the 24th, 2024. And God is saying that the Queen and the King have started their downward descent, and that absolutely nothing is going to stop it. The Lord is saying that these people are guilty of heinous crimes, and that He is going to see to it that evidence about them will get into the right hands, and then their fall will be monumental, which means we will never forget it, and disastrous. They're guilty of horrible acts and crimes against children, crimes that they have committed in private, meaning it could be one of them with a child, it could be both of them with a child or children, but they have also committed the horrible acts and crimes against children in public. That means that there have been other witnesses to this. It could be consenting witnesses. It could be people who have been hurting the children with them, or it could be non-consenting witnesses, meaning people of lower station, perhaps a cook, perhaps a driver, perhaps a butler, perhaps a personal assistant, people who have stories to tell. But because the season was not right to speak against such powerful and well-protected people, they couldn't say anything. But now God says that there will be a mountain of evidence coming out, and that people will be more than eager to testify. So people have been hurt, and people will have grievances, and people will be coming out and talking, and this thing will become a snowball. And who will be going down in it is Beyonce and Jay-Z. So that is the full dream. And I just want to say to people that I can already see the fall of Jay-Z and Beyonce.
So y'all, while editing, I realized that my Mac storage is low. I thought I had it set up with the iCloud. I don't know. So it actually didn't record my video that I did on the Mac, but it did on my phone. So I'm going to upload that. My mic wasn't, I guess, working. So, sorry about that, Solly. It's been a time trying to get this first video out. It's been a challenge. However, I'm going to put it out as is. And y'all just, take it easy on the system. Next video going to be on point.
Important message alert. Part 1 has ended. Please come back tomorrow night for Part 2. Thank you for tuning in to Part 1 of my premiere night. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and turn on your notifications so you will be notified when content drops. Always love, A.